it might look on the video as if there's a delay, but there isn't a delay when it comes back. Let me just introduce as an introduction first, and then I'll answer your question, Nikki. This is Starseed Sisters and Brothers, and we are worldwide. I have with me today Diane. If you wave to me, Di, just wave on the camera, and she's there in Spain. And then we have Nikki on the right, coming from the Philippines. So thank you very much for you two coming forward. To answer your question then, Nikki, on air, we tackle all different subjects. I answer to my best ability, and I've had several years at this now. We all started much the same, with your imaginary children as a child, and then coming through to present day mediumship, which is what we're doing. I've had 2 questions put forward for today. One of our members who can't make it today had a dream. And if I stick to the dream states, they can be like when you first wake up and it's a sort of kind of trance-like dream. It can be translucent dream. You can be awake and still have this premonition. And lots of members have been asking questions around that. So if we tackle that, and I'll answer Pam, who couldn't be with us today. And what she said was that she'd had, she was off to the first realms, and she'd actually saw some babies as such there. And it was the receiving realms, right? So let me go back, let's rewind. When you pick your energy up within your body, your ethereal body, for those people that are out there and don't understand the ethereal body, it's connected to your physical body by the umbilical cord that you're born with this time round. And it builds up with energy that you can collect from the forces above your head, which is the angelic realms, and as they come down, they're sort of connecting with that force that is there in the umbilical cord. And we call it the energy field, and it stores there where the navel is, not far from the navel. So when you pass over, you go to the receiving realms. The way that happens is a member of family come to you on that point of death. You may experience it beforehand, because a lot say their loved one is seeing something and they don't understand what they're seeing. And they're clawing for that entity there. And the entity is showing themselves like you and I, like a flesh and blood person to them. Okay? And what they're saying to them, not to be frightened, that they're going to be taken by the hand. They're going to be shown other members of family. And it's quite easy. There'll be no pain as you go through that doorway, but you will take the hold of the hand of a mother or father or sister or brother, someone who you were very, very close to on the earth plane before passing. And as you pass through that door, a lot say they see a bright white light as they walk through. If you've had a near-death experience, you'll see the same thing. A bright white light, you're drawn towards it, but then you're drawn back into your body again, because the ethereal cord and your umbilical cord is attached and doesn't want to break because it's not ready for you to pass over. So it doesn't break, it stays solid. So then you come back into your dream state again, that they've brought you back to earth again, because it's not your time. For those that it is their time to pass, whether it be a sudden passing or whether it's been expected, it's the same for everybody. So you take the hand of a loved one and you go over to what they call the receiving plane, or the receiving realm as such. Now, Pam saw the receiving realm, and she saw people around in the receiving realm. So she knew that they were loved ones that were there for her. But what she didn't realise was she actually saw some baby entities. Now, the baby entities that she saw was also on a receiving realm, but it was on a different plane, and she'd seen both of them. So she'd crossed over to the 2 realms that are immediate as you pass over. And the baby realm was entities that were being formed to be reborn to the earth. And they always come within families, so you don't cross over families when you're reborn to the earth again. And that baby, if you like, sits as an entity in baby shape, if you like, until it's ready to be born to the mother. And the baby there is looking within the family and pointing out to spirit, I would like to be with this couple. This couple will be lovely for my mum and dad. So they actually choose you rather than you choose them when it's growing as a fetus inside the body. So that is exactly what she saw. She saw the receiving realm of where you pass over to and you're connected with loved ones. And she was very privileged in seeing the realm that are holding the entities coming to be rebirths, which was wonderful. It was a fascinating experience for her. So I put it into group. And then it come back with several dreams that people had had. So for the benefit of the tape, if anybody wants to add on any of their dreams, I will answer them, because there's a position there where you can leave a message. So can I firstly come to you, Di? Diane's in Spain, as I say, and she had a dream state. Can you explain to the viewers exactly what dream state you had?
Yes. I recall I was in a room and I wanted to get out, or there was a door in front of me, and I thought, okay, I tried to open it, but I could not do it at all. As much as I pushed and pushed, it was like pushing back at me, but it was open a tiny bit. So I just felt, well, I'm not supposed to go through this particular door. And I never got through it in the end. So what was on the other side, I don't know.
Okay.
That's all I can remember, really.
All right. Now, I take from that, Di, is the fact that you've already opened or tried to open that door of spirituality, a new way of looking at spirit. Okay? You're not ready to be passed over through that door, so that's what they were trying to say. We're not allowing that door to be opened. Okay? It can be that corresponding to your dream, or it could just be that your spiritual vibrational frequencies are changing and they've started on it already and opened that plateau for you. So you've got that extra vibration coming down to you as a medium, okay? Because yours is coming on in leaps and bounds. We did a tarot, didn't we, a few weeks back, and again we videoed it so people can bring that back. And basically, you're very good at saying what the cards are saying, and now all you need to do is hone in that vibrational energy where your other gifts are coming in. You can write, you know how to spiritual write to your departed husband as such. You know how to write to him and him to get messages back to you. And I have got some here that I did some yesterday with John, which I'm going to share with you as well, which is quite nice. So you've got that gift going quite well. Have you been able to receive the gift of smell?
No.
Right.
No, I haven't heard that one.
Okay, so your guiding light that is there with you, your personal gatekeeper, will work on that with you with your permission. So if you're saying yes, then there will, when you give a message from a loved one to a loved one, you'll get that smell around you. And if you say, I can smell so-and-so, it will mean something to the person you're giving the message to. So that's that one. You've already got your sight, because you can see here different subliminal messages come through. If you remember, we did a remote viewing of the moon, and with that you were given a premonition of an earthquake happening in a particular part of the country, in England, on the Earth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Now I haven't looked into that. Did you Google that at all?
I just had on the African plain, Savannah.
Right. That's it.
But
That's what you
I'm
had.
not much in Jamaica, so.
No. Just be aware that these things that are given to you is like a premonition sometimes and hasn't happened yet. But now you know what area of the earth they're giving you the message for. Not that you can do much about it, apart from soul retrieval, which we've done in group, haven't we? So maybe they're saying to you that's going to be one of your gifts, that you've been given the premonition of an earthquake in Savannah in Africa, because they showed you waterfalls and jungle, as far as I remember.
That was in my mind, yeah.
Yeah. So if you keep your mind open to that, and then let us know if anything comes to fruition, because that will help you with that skill of taking it on board, what you're getting. So that's nice, isn't it? I mean, sometimes you get the other sense you get is taste. So if, for instance, you're given a message from a loved one to loved one, and you get the taste of something nice in your mouth, you know, I get mints sometimes, or I get ice cream, or I get lollipops, or I get sweets, or whatever, or chocolate. You can give that within your message, because you've got that clairvoyance gift of taste. So we've covered mostly all the gifts that you can get. So you've started on the pathway, and I feel that's why that door was just a little bit ajar. I feel that's what they're trying to tell you. All right, my love. I'm going to go on.
Thank you.
I'm going to go on to Nikki. So, Nikki, have you had any experience with dreams at all? You're on mute, my darling. You need to unmute.
Okay, I'm not sure if I would call them dreams, because it happened to me 2 times.
Right.
And in fact, I was interviewed about that on YouTube. It's what I call an NDE, or near-death experience. I mean, I think I was like, not sure, 16, 17. I tried to go back into it, trying to figure out how did I get that experience. Then I remembered I had a motorbike accident when I was like around 16 or 17. And at that time, when it happened, I was with a friend driving behind me, and I don't know from what really happened. I just fell, and I didn't even know how I was able to get home.
Right.
All I remember was that my mom was crying because I had blood all over. But when I look back into that, I had this memory, which up to now I still remember very much. It's like I'm sort of like up there looking down, and I asked somebody, there was a woman, a lady beside me, and I said, "Where am I?" And she said, "Oh, you didn't know?" I said, "No, I don't know." I said, "Well, what's happening?" And she said, you had an accident." I said, "Oh, okay, right." So then after a few seconds, I saw my mom and my dad. There was a casket, a coffin, and I was there. And it's so weird, because I was wearing this white long gown, for sleeping, and I don't have that. But what's so weird about this is 4 years or 3 years after that, I was pregnant, and I had to go and stay in the US. And exactly that white sleeping gown, I bought that. And I had it way in advance.
Right.
And I said, this is really weird. And I saw my mom really crying. They were beside me in the coffin, and my dad, and I was really so, it's more of like I pitied them because they were crying so much. Of course, when I told myself I was dead, I mean, I knew that, so I couldn't figure it out. And there was a man behind me who walked towards me, and he was with long hair and kind of like white gown, and he said, "It's not your time."
That's right.
I said, "What do you mean by that?" "It's not your time. You're going back." I said, "I don't want to go back. I want to stay here." Because I don't know, for some reason I felt so much peace.
Yes.
Like I felt so much peace there. Like I wasn't really missing anything. I just saw them crying, and I was like, to be honest, I wasn't really that bothered. It's like I wanted to really be here. He said, no, you need to go back. I said, I'm not going back. I said, it's not your time. You need to go back.
Right.
And I said, and then suddenly I woke up. And then, I mean, that was one of the 3 series of, I call it NDEs or near-death experience that I had. And
can I interject just for a second? Just in case you go on to the next dream. I get from that the coffin they showed you was really that your mum and dad was there and they were trying to console you by saying that they will pass over before you will. So you need to go back. That's the impression I'm getting of that particular dream.
Really? Okay. You know, to be honest, if they were not crying, my mom wasn't crying so much, I wouldn't really go back. I mean, that's the only reason I really sort of forced myself to go back. Plus, this man behind me, he kept on saying, you need to go back. You will go back. It's not your time. You will go back.
Yeah.
And I said, sure. And then that's it. It was gone, the experience. And I'm thinking, could it be because the time that I had a motorbike accident, I lost consciousness?
Yes.
I didn't even know how I got home. I didn't know nothing. My friend who was with me, you know, behind me, he was able to go home. He wasn't affected, no wounds or nothing, but I had bruises and all. And like what I said, I didn't even know how I got home.
You had concussion by the sounds of it.
Yeah. And the next day, my dad sold the bike. It was so
good old dad. Good old dad. Brilliant.
Actually, my youngest brother, who passed away like 3 years ago, told me, don't use this bike because it was a Good Friday at the time. And it was a bit dark. And it was around 6 o'clock. And he said, one of the lights isn't working. You shouldn't use that. And I said, it doesn't matter. I'm just going around the neighborhood anyway, the village. But then I went to this one street that I'm very familiar with, and suddenly I didn't know that day, suddenly they were doing construction, so I didn't see the sound or whatever. By the time I realized it, the bike just went like that.
Yeah.
And that's it for me. I didn't, and my sister was so angry at me at the time, I remember, because it was her bike.
Yeah.
And my dad sold it. She was so pissed. So I'm selling this bike.
It sounds like it was a blessing in disguise, really. It sounds like a blessing in disguise. Yeah, because obviously you're much safer on 4 wheels than you are on 2 wheels. And as a parent myself, I do feel the same with my son who rides a motorbike. I don't feel happy when he's on his motorbike. So that's a parent thing, isn't it?
But I don't understand. Maybe you can explain to me, like, how come I don't want to go back? I just don't want to go back.
Right. I mean, the thing is, your brain is in 2 parts. You've got one part of the brain that is the artistic side of the brain, if you can put it that way. I'm trying to put it simply. And then you have another part of the brain that is more practical. So you have a practical side of the brain. So the practical side of your brain wants you to come back, and the impractical part of the brain wants you to stay there. So you've got 2 factions within the brain. Obviously, your brain was functioning completely all right, although you'd had concussion, but it came back to normality. So I do feel that one overrode the other one as such. So yes, that's why you're here today, and I'm so pleased you are. Look how many people you've touched with your spiritual work. You wouldn't have done that if you'd have stayed in spirit world. If you'd have stayed over there.
I was thinking that maybe that was the time that my mediumship skills were actually trying to come out, but I was so young at the time that I never really know about mediumship or anything. But after that, I just kept on. I've always wanted to go to the cemetery. Even when I was in England, I mean, when I go to church, I just love this thing that the cemeteries are at the back of the church.
Yeah.
And I would walk there, and my friends think I'm so weird, but I just stay there, and I just feel so
At
so
peace.
much peaceful.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I would just stare, and I was like, other people were saying I'm so weird. Why do you like to go to cemeteries? And I said, I don't know. I just feel so much peace. But sometimes I would hear voices. Then I would go to a certain what's the gravesite that I don't know for what reason I would just go there. It's like somebody was calling me and talking to me.
Yes.
And I, like what I said, I only found out about me being a medium when I met you.
Yes.
But I had so many years of experiences like this, like I couldn't figure out what was happening to me. And maybe it's, I'm being told to tell people that
Yes.
probably like when you pass away, there should be no fear.
That's right.
Because when I was there, I had no fear. I mean, I saw my body. I knew then that, they told me, you died. You had an accident. But then I was thinking that maybe, for those who are scared of death, maybe I can tell them that there's really nothing to fear, because when I was there, it was peaceful.
Yes.
It was quiet. It was peaceful. It's different. That state is different.
I think really and truly, though, everybody has a mindset, and if they have not been told of this way of life that we believe in, they don't always believe you anyway.
Yeah.
And that is, even when we go, even though we've had all this knowledge given to us, and we are quite peaceful, and we know that that's the way we want to go quite peacefully, you can bet that, but when it's our time, you will be just as scared as the people that we're talking to, because your physical side of the brain is sort of saying, oh, but I don't want to go, I've got to do this and I've got to do that. I've still got this, that and the other to do on the earth plane. So we need to cherish every moment that we get in that respect. Did you say you had a second dream?
Yeah, my second actually dream, or like what I said, I don't know how to call this thing. It's more of like, when I was in London and my parents, my family migrated to the US, I didn't even know they left the dog. They left our dog chained to the gate for 2 years. I only realized it after, when I came back from England. Like, neighbors would feed our dog.
Oh, God.
But he was just, I don't know, he was just tied to the gate.
And this is in a dream. This is in a dream state, yes.
No, when I came back from England, I adopted him, but his behavior changed. He was very aggressive, really aggressive, like he doesn't even know me. And sometimes he'd look at me, so I would get scared, like he was such a different, maybe the 2 years was very traumatic for him. And I really tried so hard to have him, but then one day he just ran away and he was just gone. And so in the second instance, when I was in this kind of a place, like I saw people that I don't know, but I saw the dog, our dog Troy. He was there, and he was trying to tell me that, he told me that, because I really felt bad after that. I was really crying, and I felt so bad about the whole thing, why it happened to him. He was telling me that it was okay, that he doesn't feel anger or anything of that sort, and I should just move on already, that it's everything is fine. I saw him there, and I was really surprised about that.
So Nikki, did you feel that he's passed over and he was coming back to you to tell you? Because they can still send you messages via the brain, because animals have exactly the same instinct as we do, and they're able to tell you. So that should have really been a comfort for you, because although he's passed over, he's with some of your members of family looking after him.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah, it was. Because first I was really very, very angry with my family. Why they did something like that. Second, he became very, very aggressive. Like, he was so angry, and then just one day he was just gone. And then from what I heard, he was killed. That's what the neighbor said. He just ran away and he was killed.
Well, that's already verified to you because of your dream. That is actually, we call them dreams, but they're not. They're lucid dreams because it's in that field, isn't it, that you're getting the messages. And yes, animals can come and communicate with you quite easily, as well as humans as such, if you want to categorise people. So
it's sort of like telepathic communication.
That's it. Yeah.
Telepathic communication, and of course, somebody was saying that years from now, when we advance through the years, we are able to communicate with animals telepathically.
Yes, you can.
But sometimes in mediumship we do telepathic communication, right? That's what we do. Mind to mind.
And they don't have to be passed over to do that either. They, if you've got really close to an animal, you can look in the eyes of that animal and you know what that animal's trying to tell you.
Yes.
And you can certainly tell when they're not well, when they're poorly, and they're looking at you with the eyes that tell you that they're poorly, because the eyes are different, aren't they, as you look at them?
Yes.
And they're telepathically telling you, "Come on, Mum, I need some help," and then you take them down to the vets, don't you, to get some help. Let me just, as I promised Diane, let me just put my reading glasses on. I meant to put the other ones near me. I haven't done. My good ones. Okay. Diane, we talked about the automatic writing that you can do with Pete at times. I don't know whether you've been doing it lately, but I picked this up on the 21st, so that's yesterday. And there's a couple of things here that might interest both you and Nikki. Obviously, hello, darling, a few false starts, but I'm with you now. That was John speaking. We've had a few bereavements in the family, and that's why he came forward. He asked, "How are you?" And I said back to him, "I'm okay. I still miss you and still finding it difficult to spread my wings. Yours are already spread." And I put laughter. "Pastures new, of course, so and you." Then John gave me this information, which was quite good. He says, "My mother and yours are meeting up more regularly due to the many arisen family pets with yours, which is in keeping with what we've talked about." I didn't know we was going to talk about pets, but that's how it comes through. It's quite amusing as they didn't always see eye to eye when earthbound. I think this is the term, because he doesn't know this way of life. "See, I'm even using your terminology." And another laughter emoji. "I have been keeping myself busy too. There is so much more to do from day to day, and my practical skills come in handy. I'm much in demand. I find it difficult at times to get my head around the mystical ways of doing things rather than the material ways of looking at and doing a problem." So he was a very hands-on when he was here on the earth plane, and if there was a problem, he would sort it out engineering-wise. He would know what to do. So obviously in spirit, all the things that he would be given would be spiritual work to do, as in how we communicate, basically, and he'd have to get involved with that, and he was never involved with that on the earth plane. So I'm quite pleased that he's picked up that part. He then goes on about the family and how they're coping, etc. And then I put here, he says, he says, "Wow, so pleased as when you and Barbara suggested this trip," because I'd said to him we're going on a trip to Ireland to see my cousin. "So many years ago I was going to drive you, seeing as we have done it a few times south rather than Northern Ireland, where Pat lives." That's my cousin. Me. Yes, and entails in with the itinerary a day in Scotland on the way back. You would have loved it, but maybe I will yet give you a few moments I can draw you in to see through my ethereal eyes the beauty and emotions that I'm feeling. We haven't done this yet, my love. It has to be okayed by you. And I thought you might like that particular part of this letter. he says, wow, yes, I love a challenge, bring it on. So you can see he's changed to looking at our way of thinking. Leslie, now is your last throws at life. So make every second count. How is Colin, little brother, doing as I'm around him sometimes? And I'll leave it there because the rest of the letter is personal to the family.
Okay.
But I'm trying to explain to the viewers that when somebody has passed over, you can still be in connection with them. What you need to do, especially if you're a beginner at this type of thing, you don't have to have had spiritual entities to you. You don't have to have experiences of a spiritual nature to do this. You just got to have the love and compassion of that person that's passed over. You then get a photograph of them and you look at the photograph, and then once you feel comfortable within your body and you feel very calm within the body, especially down in the stomach area, you know you've made connection to the person in the photograph. Then you start to write. Now, always date at the top of the paper the date that you are actually writing, and then let your mind go. So you're letting your mind go towards them as if they're in the room with you. And you will have words pop into your mind of them speaking to you, like on a telephone. And you will write the answers to what he's saying down as per se. So in other words, I'm trying to put it in a different language. So as the words come in, like I had there, hello, darling, I wrote, because that's what he was saying, hello, darling, to me. And then you would sort of pose questions to him, like I said to him. How are you doing on the other side? What are you doing today? As you would on a telephone. If you're on a telephone call, you'd be saying exactly the same thing. So then you will get words coming into your mind of the answer to that question that you've said to him. And that doesn't have to be written down. Your questions to him or her does not have to be written down. Just think it here, so that you've got that mind-to-mind link going on. And that can start very early, and you don't have to be of a high mediumship or medium skills to do it, because it gives comfort, not just for you, but also to the comfort to the person on the other side. So I'm trying to encourage more people to do automatic writing. But if you don't feel comfortable in your tummy area, you know that you've got someone else on the line. In other words, it's not the person that you've drew towards yourself with the photograph. So if you feel a little uncomfortable and you're thinking, this isn't the person that I've asked to come forward, and you will feel that, and then you would stop the writing straight away. Because once you've placed the pen down, your gatekeeper or your guide, without you even knowing who your gatekeeper or guide is, will close that door down for you. So that cuts off that link. You yourself cut the link off because you would quiz yourself. This isn't the person I wanted coming through to me. So if you haven't given it a go, do try it. I ask everybody, do try that information as I'm giving it to you. Have you both had any experiences of automatic writing? We'll go to Nikki first.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we first met, you taught me that.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And did you find it gave you comfort?
My dad just passed away at the time, and he was in the US, and we never had a chance to really talk or anything, or do the forgiveness and all that thing, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's when I met you. I was going around, I was looking around, online for somebody who can help me with this, and I met you, and you taught me about automatic writing. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, I've had questions from here, people asking, doing automatic writing, how would you know it's not your mind or your objective mind, and it's from spirit that you're talking to or you're writing about? It could be just like what you want to hear, or that sort of thing. How do you differentiate this?
Can I answer that then, lovely?
Yeah.
When you're writing, you'll see that the writing is different to your own handwriting. I mean, when John comes through, the writing is quite big, quite flowery, but my writing, when it's me talking to him, is quite small. So and every time he comes through, it's the same kind of writing. Okay. Now, if you have a birthday card from them or a Christmas card from them, have a look at the writing and just compare it with the writing you've just done, because that gives you confidence, doesn't it, to get in touch with them again. So you'll find those little differences will be there with the writing. So no, it's not your brain talking.
Plus, and is it also possible when I first started writing, my hands were very quick.
Yes.
Like it's being taken over by somebody. Like, it's really fast, and
Yeah, you have to tell them to slow down. Yeah, you have to tell them to slow down. They're so excited that you've made the connection in this way that they just go. I mean, I write 2 or 3 foolscap sheets of paper because they're so in awe. If you haven't written for a long while to that person, they're so in awe of the fact that you've actually got hold of them. And that they can communicate with you, like picking up a telephone. So, yes, you're quite right. And you just ask them to slow down, and they will slow themselves down so that you can write it better. But really and truly, as long as you can make out what you've written, it isn't that fast that it's just scrawl, if it's proper writing, then that's okay. And often people say that when they first start, they'll probably add half a sentence and then another half a sentence when they've slowed down too much. So they've slowed down because the vibration is fast in the beginning, and then they slow that vibration down, that it's like slow-mo, and you get in half a dozen words, and then it'll stop, and then you have another half a dozen words. So a lot of people get that experience too. But you just have to persevere until they've got the right speed and you've got the right speed with them.
Yeah. And I think that really, really works. I mean, like, if you're starting to become a medium, I mean, automatic writing is one of the best tools to start with.
Definitely.
I mean, because from there I progressed to, like, channeling later on when I'm more confident of myself.
Yes, that's right. And you feel as if you're being looked after by spirit too, because you very, very rarely get someone on the line that's not supposed to be on the line. You very rarely get that awful foreboding feeling of a low entity coming in, because you've found your guide.
Yeah, I have a question for Diane. I mean, are you practicing professionally as a medium? No. Not professionally.
No. She could, couldn't she?
Okay.
She could, but she chooses
I'm just
not to.
Again, and but not professional basis. I used to go on the net, and there was a group we were in where they would send their photos in, and I would like to look at the photos and say what I'd seen, and a lot of the time I got a lot of it right, so that was good. I haven't progressed too much. Yeah, you did a bit of a reading for me at the time, and I was something I posted, and I was asking myself if you actually do professional reading, or is just for friends, or just a skill or ability or a gift, I just do it out of curiosity and to practice when I see people's photographs. And someone said, "You got all that from my photograph?" But I was surprised. You did. So. Okay, that's nice.
That's called photograph psychometry.
Ah, right.
Okay.
There was one on there. I just said to him, for some reason, I'm drawn to your neck area. And he said, a few weeks ago, somebody came up and actually grabbed him by the throat. So I saw him with that. Yes. So that was encouraging. So I thought, I'll do some more. Yes.
Well, we've been saying for a long time, Nikki, that that Diane could do it professionally if she wished. But the confidence there of you sometimes question yourself, don't you, Di? Have I got this correctly, or have I not got it correct? And really and truly, you have got it correctly, and it's just the confidence to carry on, really. But we love having you in the group anyway, Di, because when we did the tarot the other week there, we were able to split up and do the readings from the different cards. And I explained at that particular time that the cards were just a tool. It's like reading your palm. It's just a tool to bring that psychicness forward.
I think that was it Debbie Rowe? Debbie?
Yes.
Debbie Rowe.
Actually, yeah, Debbie Rose. Debbie Lowe was coming in today, but she hasn't made it. I've left her a little note to come in. She's the lady that we were doing the card readings with, because she wanted to hone in on her skills of a medium, and she was right at the bottom of the rung, which was good because it showed either end of it. It showed how she got into it in the first place. I feel that the more of these that we do and we can get it out to the public, the more we'll get involved in getting in touch with us of either end of the scale. You can be a medium. I mean, Leslie Slater was coming in from the States, and she's a paid medium. She does it for the stars in America. So, but unfortunately, she'd already got her itinerary full, so she couldn't sort of come in today. Else she was going to come in. So you see, it can be of either end of the scale. It can be someone who has just seen spirit and want to know why they've seen them. Some are seeing E.T., the extraterrestrial side of it, which also we do delve into as well, if and when that comes around for us to talk about it. We do remote viewing, so obviously if you're a remote viewer, then you need to be able to do meditation to a high degree. And transfer we do as well, but again, you've got to be good at meditation to bring yourself into that transfer. And Diane, you can do that brilliantly because you did the remote viewing of the moon quite easily.
Oh yes, and Mars. I quite enjoyed that one.
Yeah,
as well.
This is it. But unless those that turn up to these meetings, I can't sort of sway it one way or the other as to exactly what you would like me to talk about or what you would like to talk about yourself. You know, I mean, what aspirations do you feel you would like to do now, Di? Because you've trod the boards with me for quite some years.
I don't know really. It's just bits and pieces of everything. Of course, last year was a bit of a hard time for me. So I did tend to get out of it a bit, you know. I never had the time to do what I wanted to do. So I think now I'm recovering. I'm only just getting back into it. What I was liking to do, you know. So
that's lovely. Well, when we make on these sessions, there is yourself and Nikki, or yourself and Shanti, or yourself and other seniors that are in the group. There's quite a few. Then we can explore that side of it. If you like doing the remote viewing side of it all, then we can do that. With hindsight. So if you tell me you're coming in and this is what you would like to do today, I will make sure that's what we do. And that goes the same for you, Nikki. If there's something that you want to hone in on, what aspirations perhaps that you have, Nikki?
I'm not sure. Actually, today I was just, for some reason, I was just trying to figure out. It just came to me like, what am I going to really do with my life? Like, what really is my career? I mean, I'm like, I mean, in my country, you know, when you reach the age of 50 or even 40, it's difficult to get a job.
Yes, it is.
And I'm really a marketing business person.
Yes.
You know, that's my background for years.
Yes. I think you should go back to that.
Stay here.
I think you should go back to that,
Yeah,
Nikki.
I was thinking, doing that, then that means whatever I'm doing now, I have to put it in the
No,
background. Like,
You can do a PR work on the work you're doing now. So in other words, you hone it into being a business as such. You of all
okay,
people would know how to do this because you've done PR work yourself. So therefore you need to do it for yourself rather than for somebody else. So hone in on
yeah,
those skills and I would say everything will fall into place for you. Now, it just depends how you want to go out in the market as such. You can't have your finger in too many pies. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So all you've got to
right,
do is say, okay, I like doing this, I like doing that. Choose 3 subjects that you like doing in the spiritual field, and then make a business of those 3 subjects, and everything will fall into place. That's what I've done. That's exactly what I've done. And
yeah,
these videos that go up onto YouTube is a new venture for me. And at 77, I don't want any more new ventures. This is going to be my last one as such. I've already honed the skill of doing the automatic writing and turning them into books. And for the benefit of the tape, if anyone wants the books now, they have to go on to Amazon Kindle for them because I've got only a few left now of the printed books. And I can't
actually,
see...
speaking of that, um, I told my son to order the books
Right,
and to be sent to him in the US because he's going to be sending me some stuff from the US. And I said, can you include the 2 books
right.
from Amazon because I need a hard copy to show to the publisher here.
This is the problem. This is the problem. That very first book that I wrote, I can't find the PDF for it because the person that was publishing and printing for me did the PDF from my scripts, if you like, and they was all typed up and ready to run. But he did the PDF and he died 4 years ago, so it meant that PDF died with him. So I haven't got...
Yeah.
And funnily enough, I was just in touch with a publisher that does just print-offs. So it was just a printer, and it is a digital company, and they need the PDF. So the only thing I can do really is to type it all up again, the whole book, and put it back into a PDF file, which is a long job to do. But it will get done eventually. The other books, all I have the PDFs for. So I have got those. So I can do those. So I can give them...
But I was able to sort that out. So hopefully I'll get them by next month, a month from now. Okay. And I'll be able to go through and read them properly. And then I'll be able to present to the bookstore, the publishers.
Right. Well, Nikki, just let me know how you get on with that. That sounds like a good step forward for me. Because for years I've wanted it to be published, as you know, by a publishing house somewhere. And if Kindle will actually reproduce them as a solid book, because they've got the digital version of all my books. I've got 4 books out with them. A Diary Through Spirit, A Diary Through Spirit Intellectually, A Diary Through Spirit Masters to Masters, which is E.T., and then Gone to Spirit with Love is an animal book, which is good for those that have got pets that have gone over to Spirit World. So basically they've got all 4 there in digital format. So let me know how you get on. I would extremely be so pleased with that. Thank you so much for going into that for me. Because I'm not very tech-minded in that way. You know, what they told me, my son looked into it for me and he said, well, you've got to send the PDF to them, you've got to put the format, the book size and all the rest of it, and all the JPEGs and everything to it. But the thing is, if Kindle will do it for you into a printed book, I don't mind copies. I would love some copies of that first book. So thrilled, I am thrilled. You were meant to come on here today. You really perked me up. Thank you so much.
I know. I penciled that already on my diary, my planner, every Thursday and Sunday at 1 a.m. And I said, and I forgot about it. Suddenly it's a good thing I woke up and you phoned me, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I have 20 minutes to prepare."
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I said I might as well, join since I'm awake.
Yeah.
You know?
I know it's 1 a.m. where you are, which is quite late. It's only evening for me and Diane.
Yeah.
Diane, you're going to have to put a light on, darling. You're getting very dim. Have you got a light overhead?
Okay.
Okay,
I'll just
babe.
put my heater on too, because I'm getting quite cold.
All right, babe. All right.
I've got one light on, but it's the other end of the room.
Yeah,
So.
you speak
Yeah,
dark.
how cold is it over there now? I mean, what's your temperature?
Here in England. In England,
Yeah.
it's it goes down to about 6 or 7 degrees.
Wow.
And we go up to
Right.
about 14 at the moment. We're getting lots of rain, which is flooding the fields. And the
Yeah.
fields are then, the water's coming out from the fields onto the roads. My sat-nav had to renegotiate my journey to my son's the other day, simply because of the flooding over the roads. So that's how bad of rain we've had. For the fields to get
Right.
flooded and then the roads to get flooded. You know, it's been terrible rain. We've had non-stop 48 hours of rain at the minute.
I don't know why I suddenly got this kind of like message to ask you how you are.
I'm fine. In myself, if I'm busy, then I don't think about John passing. Because I'm busy and my mind is put elsewhere. And Spirit are good at that. They're good at making you think of something else other than the mundane material work that you're doing from day to day. Yes, and like you, I have a splurge on housework now and again, which you did the other day, didn't you? You was telling me you had a splurge on that. So that keeps you busy, doesn't it?
I think it's John asking the question. Like, I'm getting this message about you suddenly, like, how are you? How are you really? You know? Like,
yeah. It's been tiring this week. It's been very emotional and very tiring this week because we've had family problems as well. And with 2 members of family going over to Spirit as well. One member of family going over to Spirit recently. And the funeral is next week. So, it's going to be hard next week. But I'm hoping I'll be able to help others actually at the service, because of my beliefs. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to help, providing it doesn't get flooded. If the roads get flooded, I won't be going.
He said to you that you're a strong woman anyway, and you've done it before.
Yes,
I don't know what it meant, but
yeah, I have. I've actually stood up. No, I stood up at his funeral.
What do you mean you've done it before? Maybe he meant like you can overcome all this.
Yeah. Well, I have actually stood up and given a eulogy at a funeral. I did this many times when I was with the church because it was part of the service to give the eulogy of the deceased. And you think in your own mind, oh, you're strong enough, I can do it. But when it comes to your own husband, I broke down. The clergy kept saying, I'll take over if you like. And I said, no, I'll get the strength. And I pulled myself up and I could feel my angelic beings around me, giving me that strength to carry on. Mm-hmm. And I carried on with it. It was only for 10 minutes. And I don't know where I got the strength from. I got it from there. So, yes, I understand what he's saying, but I won't be giving a eulogy at this next funeral that I'll be going to. Being family, it's taught me a lesson. I'm not as strong as I think I am.
Yeah, but he said to you, you know how to find me, darling.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. He does. In fact, he knows how to find me because I get the doorbell going at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, which is not my time of getting up. When he gets urgent, and I've been saying I'll put pen to paper with him for 3 days on the trot. And that's why he said it's been fits and starts. In the end, he had to make my doorbell ring to come through to me.
Right.
So yes,
Okay.
that's what he's talking about, Nikki. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah, but he's smiling, and he's smiling about it. When he said that.
Oh, thank you.
So funny. I know.
That's kind of you to bring him through. Thank you.
I don't know. Sometimes I get this kind of thing, even when I'm talking to people, and sometimes I wish I don't, because it's sort of like um I'm not like it just I wouldn't say it jolts me, but it's just would come on and off so suddenly. I hear something
Mm-hmm.
like now suddenly, like I know it's not my thoughts to
No.
ask you how you were.
Yeah.
But suddenly it just came to me, and then I realized it's John.
Yeah.
Tell her it's John asking.
Yeah.
And she was smiling when he said that. It's John asking. Because I was just surprised to ask you, how are you?
Yeah.
I mean, how are you really?
Well, you see, both you and he knows that when I'm working, all my personal stuff goes aside. I put everything on one side. So when you ask it in that
Right.
way, you were perfectly right. Oh, that's
Right.
a beautiful pussycat. How nice is
That's why
that?
I couldn't focus properly earlier, but she kept on jumping and jumping, and
Oh, she's
Hey,
gorgeous.
Olga. Hi, Olga.
Oh, she's just like my pussycat that I had. Exactly the same colouring and marking. Yeah, how nice is that? That will really
She's
please the
very kind of
viewers.
shy.
Oh, that will
She
please the
doesn't like her
viewers.
photos taken. She doesn't like videos taken of her. She doesn't look at the camera. Come on, Olga.
She has done already. She's looked at it. She's lovely.
Yeah,
Oh, she's gorgeous.
like that.
Well, you don't look a bit tired, and it's got to be 2:00 now where you are.
I know. Yeah, it is.
So Diane's had to leave us because the connection went very poor, and then
Okay.
she's gone off.
Right.
So I'll say goodbye to Diane for the video's purpose. I'm going to just stop this video. Then let me just see, because this is new to me, and I should have a stop button here somewhere.